Hey friends, welcome to the Super Sunday edition of the KXIP Hangout with the Circle of Cricket. Today we have with us two superb cricketers, George Bailey and Mitchell Johnson. Welcome to the show, guys.
Thank you.
Hi. Thank you.
Congrats on last night's win, George. You must be really pleased with it now as the bowling's finally come along.
Yeah, I'm absolutely very happy with how it's going. I don't think our bowling was as bad as people think in the first two games. They were very high-scoring games, but we won both of them with about 8 balls to spare. So that would suggest that maybe our bowling was pretty good. So we've certainly, I think the wickets have changed a little bit as the UAE stage has gone on. The wickets have slowed down a little bit, but certainly I think our whole team has learned a lot about each other and how we play, and I think our bowling unit is bowling really, really well as a team, which is fantastic. Particularly the younger guys who are growing in confidence.
That is actually fantastic because yesterday it showed. Well, we have Pankaj here with us, who is my co-host. Pankaj, would you like to ask a question?
Absolutely. Thank you for that, Simmer. And guys, thank you. It's a privilege talking to both of you here. I'm going to start with Mitch. Mitch, the new franchise, new team. How's the experience been so far? Are you enjoying being part of this new look team?
Yeah, I am. It's great to be involved, and when the names were read out in the auction, I was really excited because I just thought we had a really well-balanced side, and I was really excited to work with George again, being the captain, and we've had a fair bit of time together in the Australian team now, and like you said, a lot of young fast bowlers in this team, and it's been really exciting to watch them guys do their work. And last night was a really good example of I think that they've really learnt a lot in a few games together. So I can really feel that gelling of the team now. It was a really special win last night, and really looking forward to continuing to play well for this team.
Wonderful, Mitch. Thank you for that. It was indeed a spectacular win. To tell you the truth, my heart was in my mouth when I saw you guys bat and end that way. But wonderful bowling, great effort, and wonderful victory. Congratulations. Back to you, Simmer.
Mitch, yesterday you seemed in great rhythm. Are you completely happy with the way you're bowling now, coming back from your injury?
Yeah, I was saying to Joey Dawes, who's here, and I've done a fair bit of work with Joey in the past in Queensland and Australia. So I was just saying that we had a training session the day before the last game, and it's probably the best I've felt since being over here. So it was really, really, really good for me. It was a good positive sign for me, and to go out there last night with a low total. It felt a lot better. It feels like I'm getting better and better each game, and which is it's a really good thing. There's less games this year, so like I said, we started really well in this tournament. The young bowlers have really stood up when we've needed them. We've just been, I think, all round we've been consistent. So yeah, hopefully I can just keep getting better and better and helping this team along.
That's really good to hear, especially for all your fans. It's wonderful to hear that. Pankaj, over to you.
Thanks. George, the scores on that pitch yesterday were, well, to say the least, were not flattering at all. Were you surprised with those scores on the pitch? Yesterday, as the experts felt that the pitch was much better, but the scores weren't exactly up to the mark. Were you taken aback?
Well, who are the experts?
I don't want to take names. I want to keep doing this show.
Yeah, I think the guys in the middle are probably the experts. I certainly don't think we scored as many runs as we would have liked, but I would have been happy with 150 on that wicket. So we were 15 runs short, which so not too bad. We're probably, when we look back on our innings, I think probably Saha, Maxwell, Miller, Sehwag, and myself all got starts without one of us getting 50, and on the back of that, we probably didn't have one partnership of 50. So that's the only difference between 130 and 150 to 160. So we can certainly be better, but it wasn't a disaster by any means. And as we spoke about before we went out to bowl, we'd kept Sunrisers to about 110, so we knew that if we bowled and fielded really well, that we could defend the total, particularly on that wicket which was slowing up. And we know that Abu Dhabi at night tends to nip around a little bit as well. The bowlers have to obviously start really well, but they absolutely did that.
Oh, absolutely. They did a fine job. You and your team were wonderful last night. Back to you, Simar.
Thank you, Pankaj. George, Mitch, we have a couple of fans here with us. They have a few questions. With your permission, if I can ask them to ask their questions.
Yeah, no worries.
All right, Puneet, please go ahead with your question.
Hello, sir. Hello, Mitch. Hello, George. How are you guys?
Good, how are you?
It's really great talking to you. I hope my excitement does not make me vocal my questions, so I should concentrate on my questions. George, question for you, sir. Are you a bit concerned that apart from Maxwell and Miller, there is still a bit of questions mark over the form of others? There is really some lack of performance in batting, rather than Maxwell and Miller.
No. I mean, I think if you take out the two best batters out of any team in the whole competition, then it makes that's T20. There's generally it's one or two batsmen, or it's one batsman who has a good day. We've been very fortunate that they had 3 very good games together, but they're our 2 best players, so we expect that. I think we've had really good contributions at different stages from Virender, from Viru, Pudgy at the top. They're showing us a lot. I thought Saha's innings last night to get this to 52 off 6 overs last night was fantastic. Would have liked him to get a couple more, but I think as far as the tournament goes, I think we're going really well. And I think if you look at any of those other sides, take out Yuvraj and Kohli from RCB, then their batting hasn't been as good as well. That's just the nature of T20. You rely heavily on one or two. It's hard for everyone to contribute because there's just not enough balls.
So it's safe to say that the batting is not giving you sleepless nights, George.
I wouldn't have thought so. No, I mean we chased 2 big totals. I thought we got we got about 30 too many against Sunrisers, and as I said, we were probably 1 over short last night, but certainly not a disaster.
Thanks, Simar.
Yes, we have another question from another fan here. Keshav, would you please go ahead and ask your question?
Hey guys, I'm a big fan of both of you, and a big admirer. So the first question is for George. George, the guy sitting right next to you, he's the spearhead of your attack. So you guys have played a fair bit of cricket for Australia together. So how much does it help having Mitch in your team and he leading the attack?
I think everyone, the beauty of it is I think that every team would like to have Mitch in their attack. The one thing I know about T20 cricket is that if you can bowl genuinely fast, proper fast, 145 kilometres an hour plus, or you can really swing the ball, then you're always going to be a handful. Because you have such an impact. You can take wickets at any stage of the game and you can break a game open. So that's certainly the role that we want Mitch to have, and I know that the younger guys get a lot of confidence out of knowing that that Mitch is there to spearhead our attack.
I don't think that Mitch is only breaking the game. I think he'd be breaking a few ribs as he goes along during the IPL.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, thank you so much. And Mitch, how much of a help is it to have George as your captain?
Yeah, it's perfect. Obviously, like I said, we played a bit of cricket together now, and George has been a T20 captain and played some one-day cricket and some Test matches now. So, to have him there, he's done exceptionally well for his state, but also his country. So it's really handy to have him on board, and I think all the guys are really warmed to him. There was a bit of a language barrier at the start of the tournament with a couple of young quicks, but we've all sorted that out now, and it's really good to have him as our captain.
We're not going to say anything bad about each other. We're sitting next to each other.
That's true. Maybe we should do 2 separate hangouts, one with Mitch and one with Georgie. Maybe then the truth will come out.
I think, Pankaj, we should do that the next time around.
Probably should. Yeah. Oh, Simar, go on.
Mitch, okay, by the way, your mustache looks really nice. Let me ask you a little about it. Is it just style or is it a superstition or something like that?
I'm not sure it's nice, but my wife doesn't think it's that great. But it all started November back in Australia during the Test series, and to raise money and awareness for men's health. So that's where it all started. It was actually my wife's idea to grow it. And I do like to do it most. I have done it most years. So this year I wanted to try and see if I could grow like the handlebar sort of type mode. But yeah, it sort of just stayed on. I did pretty well through the summer, and a lot of the fans back home in Australia wanted me to keep it, and some of the players thought it looked pretty good as well. So it sort of just stayed on. Maybe a little bit of superstition now, but yeah, I need to probably trim it now. It's a little bit grubby at the moment, but a few of the support staff actually in the team have been growing it as well, so they're right behind it as well.
Can you see mine?
Nice try, George.
Nice
You have
try.
to, I think there's still some work needed there.
So you've started a trend then. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Over to you, Pankaj.
Thank you. Guys, control yourself. George, Mitch, this is being watched by everyone live. Okay, George, a question to you. You know, we've had Sanjay Bangar on the show previously, and it was wonderful talking to him as well. And he gave us a lot of insights. How much of a help is having Sanjay on board, the only Indian coach around, and he has played a lot with the younger lot. Does he provide a great help to you? Is he a great asset to you as a coach?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, as you said, he's had a lot to do with particularly a lot of the younger guys from his work at the NCA. So that's been his knowledge of those players, and his knowledge of a lot of the players that we are coming up against has been really handy. But I think most important, the greatest thing about Sanjay is his temperament. He's very calm. He's obviously has great knowledge about the game, and is a really good thinker. But he doesn't get too emotional. So when we win, he doesn't get over the top. He doesn't get too far ahead of it. Doesn't let us get too far ahead of ourselves. And if we don't play as well as we wish, he doesn't get too despondent. We just keep sort of tracking on the things that we need to concentrate on, and particularly in T20 where so much comes down to such little things. I think that's a really good trait, and that calmness is certainly something that I think all the players benefit from, but certainly is really important for the younger guys to make sure that they keep the confidence and keep the momentum going in the right direction rather than focusing too much on the past.
So it seems like that's Sanjay's way of being, because he was absolutely calm and composed even during our hangouts. Well, thank you for that, George. Back to you, Simar.
Okay, my next question is to both of you gentlemen. Have you tried doing the Bhangra with the Punjabi boys?
Have we done one?
The Bhangra, the Punjabi dance. Have you heard of it?
We might have seen Awana may have been doing that. There's been a lot of dancing. A lot of singing in this.
Yeah, there's a lot of
team.
singing.
I think there's a lot of guys who think maybe it's because of pretty, but I think a lot of the guys want to be actors, not cricketers. Yeah.
Well, I'll just demonstrate the Bhangra.
But George, you can see George dancing. I think there's a YouTube clip of him dancing. I think it was last year. Did it in front of a few kids back in Australia. It was quite funny, so you might be able to find that on YouTube somewhere.
We'll make sure that we do find it, and we'll make sure that it gets promoted and gets a million hits. Thank you for that insight, Mitch. Would love to get more of that as we go along. Simar, yes, go on, Simar.
George, you're no stranger to IPL or being the captain. How has it been for you to lead an IPL team?
Yeah, very different. I've obviously I had a lot of years at Chennai, but didn't get to play much. But I certainly felt like I learnt a lot. There was a really good culture of leadership there with Stephen Fleming, MS, Mike Hussey, Matthew Hayden, Murali was there early on. So I certainly learnt a lot from those guys. It's a big challenge to lead a team, a big responsibility and a big honour. But so far it's been really enjoyable. It's been a busy couple of weeks trying to get to know everyone and learn as much about the character and how guys play. But certainly so far it's been rewarding. No doubt winning's made that a little bit easier. But the fact is we've got a really good bunch of guys, and that's really important. To have good people.
And that completely shows through while you're playing. All right,
Absolutely.
over to you, Pankaj.
Thanks. Mitch, a question for you. I see all these, rippling muscles underneath the tattoos. How much time are you spending in the gym working on your fitness and building all these muscles?
George is a bit upset because he's quite fit himself. So
No muscles, mate.
maybe he needs the tattoos and stuff like that. Maybe that'll make it stand out more. But look, it's for me. Fitness and strength is quite important as a fast bowler, and I mean as a cricketer these days, it's very hectic the scheduling that we have. We play a lot of cricket, so over the years I've learnt to listen to my body and know what it needs. So for me, a lot of strength training, a lot of lower leg stuff. As a fast bowler, you want your glutes and your legs to be as strong as possible and your core. So I try and do as much as I can. It is hard on tour to maintain that, but you work out how to do that when you are on tour, when you spare time or whenever you get a chance. You just try and get down there and get something done. But when we get some time off after this IPL, I'll definitely be working hard to getting my running back to where I want it to be and my strength back to where I want it to be, because I just think it's such an important part of the game now. Like I said, there's so much cricket that we play now, so it's very important.
Thanks, Mitch. George, do you put an equal emphasis on working out in the gym and fitness as Mitch does, or do you have a different take on it?
I think you can tell from the difference in size that he probably puts it.
I was just trying to be polite, George.
It's normally the batters though. The batters, when they go to the gym, they want to look good. They do beach weights, we call it. So all they do is chest and biceps, and so we do all the specific stuff, like our legs and glutes and the right thing. So all he does is push-ups and all the beachy weights.
George, I seem to agree with that.
Working on his head.
Yeah, Simar, I think it's time that we get some fans involved.
Yes, let's.
Good idea.
So let's go over to Puneet. Puneet, would you like to ask a question? Puneet, I think you'll have to unmute yourself before you speak.
Yeah, Puneet, go on. Okay, I think we're having some difficulty with Puneet. Let's just move on, Simar.
Move on to Keshav. Keshav, please ask your question.
Yeah, my question is to Mitch. Mitch, first of all, I'm a big fan. I myself am a fast bowler, right arm fast, but and my actions, the bowling action, it actually resembles to you. It's inspired by you.
Well, Keshav, with all due respect, it doesn't look like you're a fast bowler.
Every guy cannot be like Mitch. So let me ask my question. Mitch, in IPL you play with all the players you play against all the year. So how much does that improve the relations between the players?
Knowing the players, it definitely helps to being able to play at international level and play against a lot of these players. It definitely gives you a bit of a heads up on what to expect. Obviously IPL, anything can happen in 2020 cricket, and it was a really good experience for me last year to experience the whole hype of IPL. Is the crowds, the fans, something that I'd never expected to sort of experience. Everyone was pretty full on and really excited about cricket. So it's really, I think it's a big plus to know who you're coming up against and to have that experience. So, George will, we'll have our little bowlers meeting just before we leave for games, and everyone sort of goes through their own plans and that. But it's being able to feed off each other. There's some Indian players I might not know. Some of these young players. So it's good to hear from our young players that have played cricket with them or against them, and vice versa. So they can come up to me and ask about a certain international player or someone they haven't seen before. So that's where it's probably good for me to probably stand up as a leader in this team, being a senior player, and help out as much as I can. But it definitely helps.
Thank you, Mitch, for the insight. We have another question here by Dhaval.
Yeah. Hi, George. Hi, Mitch. Congratulations on the start that you all have, and I hope it continues over the tournament. And my question is to George. Do you think the toss plays a crucial role in T20s as much as it does in the ODIs and Tests, depending on, as you said, that little things matter in T20s a lot more?
Sorry, what was the start of that question?
Yeah. Do you think that toss plays a much crucial role in T20s as it does in the ODIs or the Tests?
No, not as much, because the wicket doesn't have as much chance to change. So there might be a small change, but generally the wicket is the same for the 40 overs. Here we've seen a little bit of a change depending on underlights, or if there's a little bit of dew on the ground, but it's minimal. I don't think many teams could legitimately say that they've won or lost the game because of the toss in T20.
All right.
All right, thank you. George, I have a question for you. Yes. How challenging is it for you to lead a team with players from different cultures, different nationalities, and getting them together to bond as one team?
It is a challenge, but it's so much fun. It's fantastic. That is the greatest thing about the IPL for me as a player is learning about those different cultures, learning from a cricket sense in terms of how people play, how they think about, how they train, but also then off the field their culture and the things they eat, the way they speak, how where they come from, all those things. So it's fascinating, and I think as cricketers, I think we've certainly seen the young Indian players really improve really quickly, and I think you've seen those results in India's national team. The guys that come in, they're not overawed because they've generally seen most of the international players they're playing against. And I also think that other international players have just grown because of the chance to play in different conditions and learn so much. So the whole experience is wonderful. The challenge of captaining that is a challenge, but as I said, it's an honour because you have the opportunity to bring all that together and mould something that's pretty special. And obviously the cricket is the end result of that, but the journey as a group of players over the 6 or 7 weeks, and then hopefully over 2, 3 or 4 years, is something that's pretty special. And I think those friendships last forever.
Yes, some friendships definitely last forever. All right, Mitch, with you, what is the secret of bowling at 150 kilometers per hour?
Yeah, good question.
What is it?
What's the secret?
Secret? No, there's no secret. A little bit of luck. I don't know. I mean, I guess I've always had that ability to bowl at high speeds ever since sort of growing up. Even through the junior levels and that, I've always been able to sort of let the ball go. I think for me, my action's a little bit different to a lot of guys, where I'm a little bit more slingy. So I think that has a benefit as well. I sort of go behind my body a little bit and hide the ball as well, so that sort of comes into it as well. But yeah, I don't know about the pace. I just think it's just something that I guess I was born with. I've been able to work on my strength and all that, I think, which has been really important. Probably gain that little bit extra and be consistent with it. I've lengthened my run up in the last 12 months, so I've gone back to my original run up when I first started playing cricket at senior level. So that's definitely helped. It gives me more momentum through the crease. So I'm hitting the crease at good pace and getting through the crease, and all my power I'm going through the crease at better pace. So yeah, it's a hard one to answer because people do ask, and they always ask how you gain extra pace and this and that, and I think it's something that's in your blood. And I guess for me, I'm a really competitive, just like most guys in the game, and I really just love bowling fast and occasionally trying to hurt people.
Do you think by any chance
get him out, though.
quicker?
I'd rather get a player out though. If I was going to George, though, I'd try and hurt him.
Okay, Simar, I think it's we don't have much time with these guys. These guys have to go. So we'll try and wrap up this quickly. And before we go to Keshav and Puneet for their respective questions, I have a question for George. George, before and over, do you go up to Mitch and say, "Okay, Mitch, this is the field I'm going to give you," or does he say, "No, Skip, this is what I want, and this is the field I want"? Or how does it happen?
I'd much prefer it when the bowler comes to me, when Mitch says, "This is what I want." I think when a bowler has a plan themselves and they're really clear, then that's a great sign. I think we're generally not too far, as far as thinking goes from each other. It does depend, I think.
Are you just being nice because Mitch is right next to you, or is that the truth?
We'll have to put a pillow up like that.
Simar, I think just yes, George, go on.
I think George has made it pretty clear. Like, us as bowlers need to have our plans, and I guess as a bowler, you know what you want to bowl and know where you're going to bowl it. So, most of the time. So, if you can have your field in your mind what you want, I think that's a really good thing to have. And George is really open to that. But there are times when George needs to, and has stepped in and decided to move the field around and communicated that really well with us. So it works both ways. But I think, the way he's captaining the side at the moment, where we, as bowlers have our plans, I think that's working really well at the moment.
If a bowler bowls well and to the field, then it's my plan. If they bowl badly, then it's the bowler's plan.
Perfect answer, George. Simar, I think it's about time that we get a last few questions from Puneet and Keshav and Dhawan, and let these guys go after that. Yeah.
Puneet, please ask your question quickly.
Yeah, my question for Mitch. Mitch, we are seeing these days all fast bowlers trying, too many variations, bowling slow ball bouncers. But why we see so few Yorkers these days?
Yeah, I mean, everyone, I think in T20, you can get a little bit impatient at times and try too many different things. A Yorker is still a very good ball. It's a very hard ball to bowl, though. There's not too many around the world that can bowl it consistently. Malinga's probably the one that comes to mind that's very, very consistent with it, because he can bowl it pretty much any ball he wants to. So it is a very difficult ball to bowl because there's not much room for error. And I guess the pressure of 2020 cricket, when batsmen are going off and you're getting nicked for 4 or you're getting hit back over your head for 4, you can be put under pressure very quickly and change your game very quickly. So look, it's a very, very fine art bowling Yorkers, and it's probably gone away from the game a little bit, but I think we're starting to see it a bit more. And on wickets like this, I think they're a perfect option. But it really is depending on the situation of the game, who's in. Some guys do like the ball up there and can hit Yorkers. MS Dhoni can hit a Yorker for 6 if he wants to. So, you've really got to pick your players that you bowl it to, and And some bowlers in the end it's a very, like I said, it's a very difficult ball to bowl. It's probably not my favourite ball to bowl, but this year I'm really trying to nail it a lot more. So just especially because of the type of wickets that we're playing on, very flat wickets. The ball's been holding up a lot. We've seen high scores early on, so it'll be interesting to see what it's like when we get back to India, if there'll be more balls being bowled at that Yorker length.
All right, thank you for that, Mitch. Simar, I think let's just let Mitch and George go. I think they've given us a lot of their time. I know I've been talking to the team behind the scenes, and I think they have other commitments. So Mitch and George, thank you for your time. The fans will continue the conversation about Kings 11 Punjab. George and Mitch, it was wonderful talking to you. Thank you for your valuable time.
Thank
very
you
much.
for being here. We really appreciate you giving us your time.
Cheers, guys. Hope to see you soon.
Goodbye.
Bye bye. Have fun.
Bye.
Yay.
All right. Oh, that was super. That was a super show. It was wonderful talking to these guys. And as you are aware, I know the Circular Cricket fans are watching that. Oh, we wish we could have had more of that since these guys started fighting before we just went. But as you are aware, these are professional. They have other commitments that they need to fulfill. So they had to leave for an engagement. But anyways, it was great. Kings 11, a wonderful victory. Dhaval, you've been missing in action. Let me just talk to you briefly about the Kings 11 Punjab and their performances so far, and especially what happened last night.
Yeah, I think last night was an anti-climax to the three matches that they played, a low-scoring match for them, and then coming to the second innings, defending a low score this time. So I think they did well. I think that shows the character of the team that they're ready not just with the high scores but also with the low scores, and they have the bowling to take any team out. I think a team like KKR who had a great win against RCB and were high on momentum and confidence. So I think it's serving well for the Kings 11 to have all kinds of games, chasing the high scores, defending a high score, and now defending a low score. I think it'll help them.
Absolutely, Dhaval. When they were batting and the wickets just fell like nine pins, I thought they're going to lose. I was pretty worried because I like this team. But they just came back in. It was fantastic.
When the first match happened, 70 odd, I think that was RCB which scored 70, and there was some 5 for 4. And when I just got the news that I think it's the same pitch that they're going to use, I was a little worried at the beginning. And when I saw everybody, all the batsmen struggling, and Viru did his bit. I don't know how it doesn't make any difference to the guy what pitch he's playing on, whether it's some random pitch where an entire team gets out for 70. He just does his thing at a strike rate of probably 120, 130. He scores his 30 runs. But everybody else was struggling. So when they got out, I was a little skeptical. I wasn't sure if that was a winning total, even though Dhaval, as you rightly said, that they have a good bowling lineup.
Yeah.
But I, as George said, that he also felt that they were probably 15 to 20 runs short. I felt the same. But then, well, I'm not complaining now that they got 4 out of 4. Keshav, you thought differently. You thought, nahi, ho jayega, it's fine. The pitches are not that great, and probably that score of 120, 130 is actually a good one. Keshav?
Yeah. Sorry.
Keshav has been daydreaming. Okay.
Yeah. Can you repeat the question, please?
Sure. Okay. What we were just talking about, that I felt that they were probably 15, 20 runs short, as George said during the hangout, and I was a little skeptical whether they will be able to defend it, but they did. But did you think the same, or you thought ki nahi, no, the score is fine. Everybody has been struggling, and they will be able to defend this properly?
I thought that was a very tricky total to be chased down, because KKR, the players was not in that good form, because Gambhir was not able to even open his account. Yusuf Pathan is out of form as well, and given the attack, Kings 11 had people like Mitchell Johnson and someone like Akshar Patel, who is high on confidence these days. So I thought, even 132 was sort of 10-15 runs less. Yeah, I agree to that. But I thought, 132 is not that bad a score to be, defended. And the way they started, the way they, that guy Sandeep Sharma performed. So I thought, they were in for a win there.
And just to make things clear, Gambhir did open his account. It's a different story altogether. He's only scored 1 run in 4 games.
He was dropped on the first ball.
Yes. I think Sandeep. It was a difficult chance for Sandeep, but that lad has bowled brilliantly. He was quite a revelation yesterday. My question to Puneet, and I'm going to go to Puneet right now, is, are you happy? I mean, yes, it's very easy to talk about David Miller and Glenn Maxwell because they've done so well. Obviously, yesterday was not their day. But what about Viru? Are you happy that, well, he's been scoring like 20s and 30s. He's doing probably his fair bit. Do you think that that's his role in this side, and are you happy with it, or would you like him to score? Well, obviously you would like him to score a lot more, yes.
Yeah.
But are you satisfied that he's doing his bit in the team?
Yeah, Pankaj, I fairly believe that he was doing his job, and he has been from last two matches doing his job. 30 plus runs in these situations. He is doing the opener job, and as we saw in the last three matches as well, the rest of middle order was little more present when he is playing good knocks. Middle order is a little refreshed, and but I feel Viru is getting back into his rhythm. Now 30, now 30, 38 or so. I feel a century or 80 plus runs on the corner. This is my gut feeling, but I'm right now. In next one or two matches, we are definitely going to see 80 plus runs from Viru. That's what I feel.
Puneet, one thing is for sure, and I'm sure everybody will agree, regardless of how many runs Viru is scoring, whether he scores 20 or 30 or 40 or even more, he just doesn't look uncomfortable. You can't say that he's like Viru, or sorry, UV, who just doesn't look, ready for the game. No matter how many scores Viru is scoring, he's 19, 20, 30 yesterday, he just looks comfortable. He might just get out playing his shots, but he looks ready and comfortable. I think Puneet is, you've hit the nail on the head when you say that he probably is one innings away from coming back to form, which I don't think is the case because he's always in form. You can't say that Viru. He's never out of form.
What I feel, okay, that's what I feel. That is the difference between Yuvraj, Gautam, and Sehwag. Sehwag does not change his game at any cost. He is Sehwag and he will play like Sehwag, and that is the main plus point of Sehwag. Simple.
And that kind of confidence also comes with the kind of experience he has. Plus, as when we spoke to him, he said, "I'm doing what I'm doing. This is me. I'm playing my game."
Yeah.
He was very sure. Even when we spoke to him, he was like, "This is me. This is how I'm going to play, and I'm doing well." Like there was no question asked, and that's how he delivers also.
Watching Glenn Maxwell Simmer, I think he's just taken a leaf out of Viru's book that see ball, hit ball. I had coordination and it's just going great guns. But bowling has, yes, please, sorry, before I move on, I'll go to you. Yeah.
I would like to add something interesting in this conversation.
Yes.
Actually, Simmer asked Mitch that his mustache is trending. I would like to let you know, guys, as I am from Mohali. Mohali and Punjab is definitely following Mitch and his mustache style. If you will come to Mohali, people are dying to copy his style. People are in barber shops, in hair salons, people are copying his style.
I think we should let him know about this.
Quite the trendsetter.
Why are you not copying it, Puneet?
Actually, if you
but Keshav, there's a
there is a
difference.
little miss.
You are a Punjab fan, but you are sitting in Chennai. He's talking about the people who are there in Chandigarh, Mohali, who are doing that.
No. I'm asking Puneet, why doesn't he also put that kind of mustache?
The first requirement of growing mustaches like Mitchell Johnson is that your mustache should come in the first place. So Puneet is quite struggling with that apparently. Guys, I think a lot of jokes on the mustache bit. Lot of jokes on the mustache bit. Let's just talk briefly about the revelation, which is Kings 11 Punjab's bowling. Dhaval, did you ever think, Puneet, I'll come to you. Dhaval, did you ever think that this would be a surprise sort of a package that KXIP's bowling is brilliant? Or did you expect that when you saw them forming their team after the auctions? Did you expect this?
I think when you saw the auction and when I went through the team list and you realized that they had a good bowling lineup, and it was surprising actually to see them concede 200 runs in the first match. When you look at the two innings the first two innings that they bowled, it was surprising to see them concede so many runs. And then now that we've seen in the last two matches when they played Sunrisers and KKR yesterday, you've seen their bowling come into the true stride. So I think this was more on expected lines for me, that this is the bowling lineup and this is going to be their strength. Obviously, Maxwell's batting has portrayed that KXIP has become a strong batting lineup now because of his form. But then, to me, when the auction was done, I was thinking that this is a bowling unit where the strength lies.
Okay, thanks for that. Puneet, you think differently? You were trying to say something earlier.
No, I agree with that. That this side has good fast bowlers and good all-rounders. Like we have seen, as we have seen yesterday, people are bowling good lines. People are bowling with a good pace, and all we know what Mitch can do. So I believe Punjab has a good bowling attack, and it will get better and better as
As
tournament
we go
progresses.
along during the IPL. Okay, Keshav, you
But
have anything to add? Yes.
I don't agree here. I
Okay.
think their bowling lineup is little bit of inexperience. Rishi Dhawan, Sandeep Sharma, Akshar Patel, they all are relatively new. They haven't got any kind of international experience. Only Balaji is there as an experienced guy, but he's also somewhere inconsistent if you see his performance over the years. And of course
Uh,
Mitchell Johnson is there, but somewhere down the line, as the tournament progresses, I think their bowling is going to come under pressure because if you talk about specialist spinner also, they tried Murali Kartik. He didn't do good in the opportunities he got. Akshar Patel is relatively new and young. He's doing good right now, but once he get the beating, I don't know how he gonna react to that.
Okay.
Pankaj, I
Okay.
would like to add something.
Yes, Puneet.
As we saw in the first match, Akshar Patel got beating, but he did not fall. He rose from that situation, and he's bowling good. And
No,
if
but
we
in
see,
first
I
let me finish,
Guys,
Keshav.
let's
Let
not
me
debate
finish.
this, Keshav. Let Puneet finish. Let Puneet finish. Yeah.
As we have seen, in these matches, as we can see, all teams have two or three good bowlers. That's not every team has the four or five best bowlers. Every team is having two or three good bowlers. As Punjab is having, Mitch is one of the best bowlers. Balaji, as Keshav said, he is not consistent, but I don't agree. He has done well in last season, and he has done well in 2012 as well. So he is he's also grooming. I don't agree that it's inexperience or so. As I said, Punjab bowling attack will get better and better as tournament progress.
Okay, guys, this is not a debate forum. We'll do that probably in the Friday hangout. Let me just move on to the next topic, and probably we'll close the show with that. Uh, do you add to KXIP's chances of performing better once the IPL comes back to India? Dhaval, I'll start with you. Dhaval, you think this will be better for Kings 11 playing in India, or do you think it might not be the same, or maybe it might not make any difference? What do you think?
Okay, currently now, as you all are playing at the neutral venues, so now when they come here and they start playing at the home and the away venues,
Mhm.
to me the home is going to be the strength because the Mohali pitch will support the bowling that they have. But when they and even the batting, because Maxwell likes those pitches where the ball comes good and you get to
Yes.
hit the ball. But when you start moving to say the slower pitches that say Hyderabad will offer, that is the kind of pitches where they will start struggling a bit. And I think those will be the matches where players like Pujara will have to get into their form and guide the team through like he did in the third match where he anchored towards the end. I think what will happen is Punjab might struggle in the away games when they come to India, but the fact that they are covering up a lot here in the neutral venues won't affect them much.
All right. All right. Keshav,
Yes,
you. Oh, sorry, Simar, go on.
yes. I'd just like to add, I'd completely agree with Dhaval, but also seeing the energy, more generically, the energy is fantastic. Despite of having newer bowlers and less experienced bowlers, as Keshav said, they're doing pretty well with their
Yeah.
bowling as well. So I don't think it's a downhill. It's not going south from here at all.
And
I
I
think
think
they'll
the
keep going north.
Yes, and I
It,
think the victories are helping them bond together much better. This kind of
absolutely.
lifts the team up together, as a unit. Yes, so I think that's a great help. Yes, Keshav, do you want to say something? Yeah.
I think a lot depends upon the captain, and George Belly is a really good captain. After MS Dhoni, if I see anyone cool under pressure, and this guy is always smiling and very cool, so I think he's gonna carry the team really good, and he has the international experience as well. And when it comes to India, the IPL comes to India. I think, of course, as Dhaval said, I agree to him. When they play home matches, they play at Mohali and Dharamshala, where the ball seams, and they have the kind of bowlers who seam the ball in and out. So I think that will be a good positive for them when it comes to India. And away matches, I don't really think it will make a lot of difference because they already have the momentum right now going on with them. They have won 4 out of 4, and I hope to keep this momentum going on. So I don't think that will they will suffer much in India, and I hope to see them in the top four the way they have started.
Wonderful. I think with that brilliant note, we will end our show for today. It was a wonderful hangout with Mitchell Johnson and George Willie, and thank you, Dhaval, Keshav, and Puneet for participating. Simmer, you are a lovely host. Thank you for the
Thank
opportunity.
you,
I know
Pankaj.
I just took a little over from you towards the end of the show. Uh, I'll
It's
have these.
fantastic that you're my co-host. I
Thank
always
you.
have you to bank on.
Thank you, Simmer. Circle of Cricket fans, thank you for watching. I hope you guys had a good time, as we did for sure. And hopefully we can have these guys on soon, making a comeback on these Hangouts. See you